are you playing offense or defense or both? And the question that, when you think about it as a top performer, there has to be a balance of offense and defense. And while it appears at first glance that this is a time for defense, and there are a lot of businesses out there and a lot of people that are playing defense only, we do know on a gut level that this can be a recipe for disaster. I'll give you an example of our business at M Wealth Advisors. We made a conscious decision for the first month to month and a half that we were going to play defense, which really isn't just defense, but by reaching out and servicing our clients, asking them how they're doing, seeing if there's any way we could be of service to them, see if there was any, and getting input just on where they were. Turns out that was more offense than we intended because some opportunities arose and we did some business out of that. But it wasn't our intention. Our intention was to service, and that's still our intention. However, we always recognize, like a lot of businesses, people die, people move away, circumstances change, relationships change. If you don't move forward, you move backwards. And if you lose clients and you're not adding to them, you're going to go backwards. So we realize that we have to play more offense. And because we actually cannot be in our offices till at least September, and we can't really have in-person meetings that effectively right now, if at all. Maybe that's changing soon, but it has slowed us down with offense unless we think of other ways to create offense. And of course, we're using technology, we're using Zoom, we're doing other things to create an offense, and that's important. In football, you can play really good defense and you get to the playoffs. It's very unusual if you win a Super Bowl, go all the way if you don't have a pretty strong offense too. Comes to mind the Buddy Ryan Eagles, the Buddy Ryan era of the Eagles, where they were really known for their defense, and they went to a lot of playoff games, but they never won a Super Bowl. That might be, there's a lot of other factors, obviously, but that could be an example. I've been talking to a lot of clients who have sales organizations, who have, law firms. Again, I'll mention, that part of the job is always to bring in business. Some of them have clients that are going out of business, or they're going bankrupt. They're going through bankruptcies, and what do you do? So you need to have offense. You need to still be out there, and we need to be creative in terms of how we do that today. In financial plans, if I compared that, defense today would be, the markets are volatile, let's go to cash. And look, that's a good way to play defense, but without offense, you can get behind because you're going to have to deal in the future with inflation, with higher interest rates, with the what ifs. So, our answer to that is that, sure, maybe you should have some cash, but you need different buckets of money for different purposes. And in most people's cases, according to their goals, they need some money that's going to grow. Now, some other thoughts. To move forward, I created something I call Forward Focus. Now, this, again, I used Dan Sullivan for this. Dan Sullivan put out a manual called the Scary Times Success Manual in 2008 or 2009 in the Great Recession. And he basically reproduced it again this year with slight changes because the same principles apply, maybe even more so now. And I took out of that, kind of edited and excerpt. I think there's 10 different principles, and I used 5 of them here that I think are important that we can use to move forward. Number 1 is focus on value creation by focusing on others by yourself. If you think about it, whenever you're creating value, it's for other people. So the only way you create value is to look at other people and say, how can you help them? If you're in business, call and touch your primary relationships, let them know you're there for them. Use this opportunity to be present for loved ones. That's something a lot of people are doing. Help those in need in your communities or your neighborhoods. And focus, of course, on creating new value for your customers and your business. Take a step back. This is a great time to do that. Think about what new value you can create. The second one is focus not on your losses, but focus on your opportunities. Things you may have had before may have disappeared. Don't spend time on regrets. Focus instead on new ideas, energies, tools, and resources to create opportunities. Great example, I've used this before, but the technology of video conferencing, add that to your arsenal of communication methods and teach your clients or customers that don't know how to use it. You're doing value for them at the same time by creating opportunities for your own business, whether it's Zoom, Join Me, other conference, web conferencing technologies, etc. 3, focus on your progress. So not your difficulties. So everyone's having some difficulties today, and it's easy to get caught up in that. But treat this as a period in which you can look at your greatest personal progresses. I'd like to ask that question to people and say, tell me how you're doing during these times, and what's positive that's happening. And almost everybody, there's somebody that's on the line, I think now that I talked to yesterday, had a birthday. I won't mention who it is, but he said, look, when we like to eat. I like to cook. My wife and I like to drink wine. We like to dine. So we got into this thing. We started gaining weight, but an opportunity occurred. We couldn't get food at the stores. They were out of food. So we decided to order food from Nutrisystem. So we ordered food from Nutrisystem. He says, and now I'm down 25 pounds. It was a great personal progress. Happens that his business also progressed a lot during that period as well. But, everybody's got something good that they're doing. But sometimes they have to look for it and remind themselves, and that's important. Focus on today. Stop thinking about the future. I presume most of us at Entrepreneurial don't think as much about the past. We look to the future. But the problem is, future is such an abstract concept. Nobody knows what the future is going to hold. Your future is based on what you do every day, your contributions, your achievements, and results. So focus on what you can do during every 24-hour period and each one after. You'll be the only future expert you'll ever need. It's such a great thing. I have a personal trainer who's currently a virtual trainer that I've been working out with. A couple weeks ago, he said something that I really loved, which is your day happening to you, or are you happening to your day? I think I'm paraphrasing that. But, things happen during the course of the day, and at the end of the day, we say, oh, I should have gotten this done, I could have gotten that done, blah, 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 blah. But if you pick 3 things that you had intentions about every day, and you got those 3 things done, and you did that for a month, that's 90 new things that you did during that 30-day period. And that is what's creating your future. So what we can do is focus on the things that we can make sure that happen. We choose the things that are going to happen during the course of the day. I stumbled a little because I was thinking about something else Lawrence also said this week or last week. Are you choosing or are you cruising? Which is a great expression. Think about that. Are you just going on idle? You just hanging out on cruise control? Or are you making things happen? Again, it goes back to that kind of expression. So focus on your gratitude rather than your complaints. It's very easy to complain about our circumstances or whatever, people around us, whatever it is. But when things get tough, we all have a fundamental decision. Do we complain or do we be grateful? In an environment full of negativity, the consequences of that decision is very great. Complaining attracts negative thoughts, attracts negative people. Practicing gratitude, on the other hand, creates the opportunity for the best and clearest thinking and the best actions and results to emerge. So focus and even write it down. I have a little app that I think it's called Gratitude 360, where every day I get a message and I can write down 3 things I'm grateful for and communicate that to people whenever possible. My wife, who may be on this call, she was on it last night, but Susan, who's been tremendous support to me, I'm really trying to be conscious and thank her for all the things she does to support me and love me every day. And, when I get the opportunity, my kids live long distance, but I express my gratitude to them. And I try to do that with my coworkers, and it's just a good way to live. And I can always be better, progress, not perfection, but we all, need to work on that. Okay, so this exercise, these are actions that you would want to do within the next 90 days. So if I'm successful with this today, is if you're successful. And if you write down things that you want to accomplish in the next 90 days and achieve them, that made our time together today very worthwhile, which would make me very grateful. And hopefully would make you that way as well. So the first question is, what can you do in the next 90 days to move your 3-year vision forward? what actions can be taken over the next 90 days to overcome the facer that most impacts you? So you ranked your facers 1, 2, and 3. Pick that one, or you can do 2 or 3. There's space for 3 on there. And what can you do to overcome that obstacle that's in your way? And last, which forward focus can help you play more offense and how? So of the 5 things we just talked about, which one do you think can help move the ball forward in play? And that's really the question.